Okay, okay. Well, let's see where we left off. We were working on a simple artificial intelligence. Yes, last time. And let me turn on the line here. And I believe we got it working, works fine except for that. There's a lot of things we can do to make it, smoother. Um, and it kind of like right there, it kind of goes faster than the ball, and it kind of like jerks. So let's make it better. Boop, boop, boop. Open project. 2D game tutorial basics. And we need to go to the player AI. And let's see. So we tell the controller what our position is, and it gives us a direction. And not this one, but this one. Move player. And you can see that we find the ball. And we're doing this a lot, right? Because we haven't created the ball. Well, what if we go to Match Manager, and what if that's the first thing that we create, right? Because I mean, why not? So now if we create the ball, we can pass it in, or not even pass it in. Why are we passing in that stuff, right? Match Manager knows what that is. So why not we just call Match Manager, right? Why can't we just say, okay, Match Manager, give me the ball. That's what you're there for. You Match Manager is the game state. It's the rules of the game. So why can't we just say, okay, Match Manager, help me out here. I need to know um, what the ball's position is. So let's see, we can just get a transform. So we can say, I don't know, uh, ball transform, right? And we just say get return, and we just say ball dot transform, and it's as simple as that. And obviously we would want to be like, okay, if ball, then we do that return ball transform. Else we just return 0 or null, right? And we can just expand this because it's big enough to not have it in, you know. So, yeah, if you're wondering why I put 0 instead of null, I'm used to C++, and C++ null is 0. Okay. So yeah, why don't we just do that, right? That's gonna solve a lot of things. So, okay, well then that's good. Now when we set up, if we need the ball, I mean, we don't even need, do we even use this? No, we don't. So who needs the transform? It's the input controller thing, right? So let's see. Why not just get it um, once? We don't need to do this. So what do we need to do here? So we need to get this guy, ball transform. So why not just do it at start, right? Because we can, and this player control. Actually, we cannot. That is why. Because it's not a mono behavior. So but we can override the setup, right? So public virtual here, and then we need to override it here. And then we need to do base setup so that we can pass in everything and it works the same way as the parent. So it's going to just set that ID, right? And then, since we need to do extra stuff here, all transform equals. Then we just say, well, actually, before that, we just got to make sure that, what is it called? Match manager exists. And if it does exist, we can just say match manager instance ball transform dot I transform, and we'll cache it here, and we'll go back to match manager because we didn't make it public. Remember that in classes the default access type, I guess you could call it, of a property or a variable is private. So we need to explicitly tell it that it needs to be public. And I always write private anyway if things are private, just so that I know and other people know and we don't have to like guess, you know. Um, uh, Obviously you wouldn't be guessing because that's, you know, a law of OP or classes, but it just makes it easier. Just in case, you know, we have new programmers and they don't understand. Anyway, so I think this is a good place to note what just happened here, right? We had made a class that holds information about the game. It's got the players, it's got the balls, it's got everything, right? Players, balls, etc. It's got the maximum number of players, it's got the match information, it's got the current state of the match, and the way we decided to do things last time, we totally forgot about that, right? It wasn't until today that we decided to look back at what we just had created and saw an opportunity to actually do things that that I like and prevent me from writing code that I don't like. Hence, getting rid of that fine thing that I do not like. And I don't like doing that. And I don't like fetching things in an update loop. That will, if your game is big enough, it's gonna slow things down. So I hope you just understood what just happened and realized that it's fine at first to create things sloppy, I guess you could say. But then going back and fixing those things, making things better. It's an iterative process, right? Making games, we make games in an iteration fashion, and each iteration things should get better, not worse, right? So, yeah, I just wanted to point that out just in case you guys missed it, because it's really easy to miss something like that. You don't really put much attention to the structure that you already have, like we did last time. And like I said, it's okay. It's okay when you're just creating something new, to see how it's going to actually work and what the requirements are. Um, and not it's not going to be ingrained, like it's not going to be 100% all the time. So yeah. So, and we weren't really actually doing a reframe. Um, we only did it if this was empty. But now we can actually use that setup. And since the ball gets created first before we even get created, this will always be true, right? So now we could really do this. Um, and let's see, why is this? Oh, I guess that's just the color. We can always say, okay, if the ball transform, if it exists, then we'll just do all of this. And at this point, it shouldn't, but just in case it does, we always want to guard ourselves from any potential places where our game will crash. This is very important because as you progress and as you make more complicated games, let's say you're working on an online game, right? You're creating this online game and it's already live and you're introducing new features into the game. You don't want to have one feature that you introduce break the whole game for everybody else. That's why you always should guard yourself against um, potential failure points or points of failure for your application. I see often in games that where they put in something new and it just crashes because somebody forgot to just do a simple if statement, right? Um, and if you don't like to do if statements, you can also do try catch, but it's not necessary. I mean, debatable, but not necessary for what we're doing. Okay, so now that we have that, we want to make sure that we go up and down, and we go up and down smoothly. So let's change a few things. Like this, I don't like doing that. So our direction really, um, our direction should just be going up and down, right? Hold on. Because all we need to do is to see if we're going up and down. So that means that we're going to be working with the y coordinate. And the z coordinate is going to be 0, and the x is going to be 0 at all times. So, and from here we got to see, okay, are we moving up or down? To note that is still a difference in the y, right, between the um, where you want to go and where you're and where you are. So it's going to be the ball position dot y minus the pedal position dot y, and that would do the trick. And then we'll just normalize it, just in case because every directions is supposed to be a magnitude of 1, and that's so that we can scale it based on how fast we want to move in that direction. It just works simpler. So now that we have this, we could we could do something. Well, we will need to do something like we need to get the distance between that, right? How do we want to do that? Well, we could not normalize it and then just check how big the y is. And if the y is big enough that it's outside of the bounds, um, we could do something like that. Let's try that. So our direction is not normalized, and so we'll just say that this is the distance from the ball, right? Which is going to be the pedal direction dot magnitude so how long that vector is, that's going to be the distance, and then we want to pedal direction dot normalize, and then we only want to move if the distance from the ball is less than or equal to, no, greater than our bounds, which we have pedal bounds. We want to check actually it's either one, max or min. We can just do y, and we can just say, okay, mathf, right, abs, because remember the min bounds is probably negative. So, and we want to check to see, because the bounds, how it works is we have the horizontal size and the vertical, wait, is, let me make sure that that is how it works. Yeah, so we got the min bounds is the negative of that, and the max is, well, it's pretty much the same, but it's just negative or positive. So that if we wanted to check if we were up or down, we don't really need to do that because that our direction tells us that already. We just need to see how far away from the center of the paddle we are, and we don't care about if it's positive or negative anymore. We need to make sure we get the absolute value of that, um, so that we can actually, you know, move. Um, so we're only moving if the ball is outside of our bounds, and we may want to, have like epsilon or something like that to be like, oh, maybe half, maybe some kind of um, some kind of radius, not the entire bounds. We'll see. Um, but let's see. Let's test it out. So as you can see, we have made a significant improvement on right now. The paddle, the enemy paddle would have been jerking itself up and down, trying to follow that ball, but because we told it, okay, oh, something happened. Because we told it not to do that, um, it didn't do it. And now, for some reason, it's not doing anything. So what happened here? Let's pause that. Let's see, paddle AI. Paddle AI. Match manager. We get the ball. Paddle AI. We get the prefabs and everything. So we don't know. I'm guessing it's gonna be okay. So if let's throw an error here. Throw new exception, and we're just gonna type a message string format, and we're just gonna say ball transform is not present, or error. Missing ball transform, and let's make sure. So we know that this is not true, otherwise we would have ended the match. So we know that that info is, we have that. And we should be doing that. That all seems fine. I mean, we have the ball, so I'm not really sure why it's happening. It it works fine the first time around. And if we lose, and we're back here, let's see, we shouldn't have anything there. And then here, okay, so missing ball transform, we are missing this here. And that was one of our, what we were predicting. So why do we not have that? And what if we just do that if we still don't have it? Wait a minute. Wait. Hold on. I know we were having an issue with player input. That we already had the player controller in there. So could it be that? But it shouldn't, right? It shouldn't be because it's unreachable. Oh, unreachable. That's why, because of the throw. But I think that's what happened. So I think just because we move this up here, it will work. It should only output this once. Let's try that, and I think it's gonna work. And it's probably because we are not calling setup the second time, which we should, um, just so that everything, you know, starts up the same way. See, we only see it once now, and now it's all better, and it's moving again. So yeah, it was just that. It was that we didn't call setup when we were getting um, the information for the player control, which that should all be good, and we don't need that anymore. Um, let's see, what else? Not that. So maybe we can also reduce the speed of the paddle. Um, let's see, player paddle AI. Let's reduce the speed to 5, maybe. Maybe that was too much. Yeah, from here on out, it's all about tweaking the properties of the player, of the AI, so that it behaves in a way that we approve of, I guess. Um, so yeah, but it's, oh, well, it seems like that setup thing is not working. Uh, I think I know maybe why. No, I don't know, but we'll just. Oh, this is what we're gonna do. Where is it? It's right here. We're just gonna say, you know, that and that. It's only gonna call it once if this is not true, and that's it. And we'll lose a frame. Um, so, but we could what we could actually do is, so if it's null, then we'll just get it here. Um, and And that'll be it. No big deal. So yeah, that is it for this video. I hope you guys learned something. And if you guys like this video, make sure to like this. Make sure to like it, share it, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And make sure to click on that notification bell to get notifications of whenever I upload any new videos. I hope you guys had fun, and I hope you guys have a very good day. I'll see you next time.